and started Proceed Innovative from there. And then she brought me into it, obviously, as the oldest son. And the
Cheap
love for
labor.
Excel.
Cheap
Your dad knew that, yeah. So she found things that I could be good at, especially at a younger, more curious age, just scraping data.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 9 of Brothers, Battles and Bounty, where business, family, and future success converge. I'm your host, Andreas.
I'm Martin. I'm Stefan.
And I would like to introduce Patrick.
Yeah.
So I'll take care of that. But who are you?
I'm Patrick.
Yes, thank you. So here we have a guest. I'd like to introduce him. And this is Patrick Panayotov.
Wow.
It took me a while to be able to pronounce
Good
that.
job.
Yeah, very nice. What nationality is that?
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian. Very
100%.
nice. 100%. Love it. Were you born there?
No. So my parents came here when they were in their 20s.
Okay.
They're both from Bulgaria.
Okay.
I was born in Chicago. but
Very nice. Very
Their
nice.
parents, their parents' parents, their parents' parents' parents.
Parents,
Actually,
parents,
a little Greek. I've got maybe 10% Greek
Wow,
and then
very nice.
so 90% Bulgarian.
Love it.
Breaking news.
Which part is Greek?
My grandma's, one of my grandma's parents, I think my grandma's mom was Greek.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. So with no further ado, today on the show, we're joined with an innovative leader in digital marketing and a passionate advocate for community growth, Patrick Panayotov. Based in Schaumburg, Illinois, Patrick is a partner at Proceed Innovative, a results-driven digital marketing agency that specializes in SEO, PPC, and web design. Since joining the firm in 2011, Patrick has been instrumental in driving strategic growth and helping clients nationwide achieve measurable online success. But Patrick's impact doesn't stop there. He's also deeply committed to civic leadership, having served as the 2024 chairperson of the Schaumburg Business Association Board of Directors.
Nice.
In that role, he played a key part in fostering meaningful business relationships and promoting economic development across the region. A proud alum of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Patrick holds a dual degree in finance and marketing, blending analytical precision with creative vision. He's also a regular contributor to RestorationMasterfinder.com, where he shares digital insights that help restoration businesses grow and compete in a fast-evolving landscape. Please welcome to the show, Patrick Panayotov.
How
about it? So today we want to just kind of address some general inquiry regarding your industry, what you do. And so for starters, I'm just curious, how did you get started with digital marketing? I mean, it's...
So similar story to you three, family business. So my mom started the business. She purchased the business in 2007, 2008. She was a part of a company called Proceed Interactive. Obviously 2007, a lot of turmoil. She took a big risk. She bought some of the assets in the digital marketing side and started Proceed Innovative from there. And then she brought me into it, obviously, as the oldest son and a love
Cheap
for
labor.
Excel.
Cheap
Your
labor.
dad knew that, yeah. So she found things that I could be good at, especially at a younger, more curious age, just scraping data, helping with the P&L, QuickBooks, things that you don't need a high level of training to do, more of, hey, here's numbers, figure it out. Like what's working, what isn't. And just starting from there and really evolving into the business. I think at one point she even hired me to just cold call for a summer. Like it was spring break. I didn't go to spring break. I actually worked so I can go to a bigger trip after school. And
Nice.
it was just sales and cold calling. I went corporate for a little bit and then I came back full time to the business, which was, it's been a great experience.
So in 2007, how old would you have been?
I was gonna.
Yeah.
2007.
When you started,
man,
yeah.
Now when she started it. So I didn't join until 2011. So I was in my junior year of high school in 2011.
Okay, so 17, 16, 17. Yeah.
Old
Good
enough
age.
to be dangerous and also naive enough to be effective.
Because a lot of our audience are entrepreneurs and people aspiring to be entrepreneurs, family businesses, some are not. And so the stories are always helpful for folks to understand, at what age, you start at 16, is pretty
That's
significant.
fascinating. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
I love
But
that.
I mean, we're very fortunate if our parents are entrepreneurs or running a business. It's pretty much a leg up to getting into it. Sometimes you don't feel that way when you're 17 in the business. You're like, why am I doing this? Like, why couldn't I just work for somebody else or just not work at all? And
I think we all want that option. I'm still
Yeah.
working on it. So it's interesting. You mentioned the family business dynamic and immersing into that. I similar background, started young in different positions, and I pursued academia, got a degree in business and marketing as well as entrepreneurship. But the point I'm trying to make is through all the education programs I took in business, I found that it touched on something that I was experienced in doing within the family business. There was nothing really that was like, oh, I know I touched it in one way or another, which was really pretty awesome. So the family business education it's not to be undermined. It's
incredible.
significant. To
and
your
even
point.
now, I mean, every entrepreneur, every business person has a difficult day. I mean, maybe once a week you have a day where it's a grueling day. You're driving home. You might be driving home in silence.
Unless you're the boss and
Yeah.
everybody does the work.
Then it's
he
always
just tells people what to do.
But I always justify
It's
it as
exhausting.
we're doing it. I always justify it for myself personally is I'm getting paid to get an MBA because you're going to go to school and learn something, or you're going to have your biggest client call you with, hey, something happened. Can you figure this out?
Yeah.
And now you're in real time getting paid to figure out these challenges versus sitting in a classroom. And I feel like this is where education has challenges sometimes, where it's always a perfect situation. When in business, it's kind of like some things are okay, good enough. Like if you're looking at something in the business and you want to have it be perfect, you're going to spend a lot of time there versus some of the other opportunities. And sometimes good enough is okay if the areas that you really want to focus on are perfect.
But in business, you never have all the information.
How many times have
right.
have people said, and I've even said it, it's like, they didn't teach us this in school. I didn't know anything about what the hell is this,
Particularly the human dynamic portion
Correct.
of interacting.
I mean, financials are financials, profit, loss. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. But yeah, all the things that happen with human interaction and just, nothing ever goes according to plan.
Not even financial. You guys had your account on, and every year a whole new rule book comes out. If you're waiting around to learn it in school, you're never going to be the best at what you do. It's
experience.
Even that's all subjective. So it's all kind of this human experience of.
I think the trigger from listening to what you guys were saying about family business and being paid to get your MBA and work, we're getting paid to learn.
Yeah.
I think the key challenge or the uniqueness of being an entrepreneur is having to get that ROI. How to generate the revenue and the reason that we're all here. It gets difficult if you don't have to. If you're working for someone, you're getting your salary, your pay, your benefits, whatever it is. But as an entrepreneur, we're under pressure to perform. If we don't perform, we don't eat, right? So it's what part of family entrepreneur. What part of that has been the most challenging for you in the business?
It's an interesting question. I think managing what happens in the economy and not taking it as the economy goes up and down, and that's just a part of life, but focusing on it is gonna distract you more than help you. It's looking at, hey, the economy might be super easy to sell this year. It might be difficult next year, but there's things that we can do. And again, I remind our team, we're a compact 18-person team. We can sit down and just cold call our way into success if we have to. And that's something I'm really proud of for our team. You mentioned what's the ROI, the culture of proceed that we've instilled is not only does every team member know how our company's doing financially, so there's no surprises. It's always, hey, here's our benchmark, here's the goals, but it's also every team member has to look at each of our clients in the same way of when Trendler invests in their digital marketing, what's the ROI we're driving? We have to be a revenue generating center for each of the businesses, which was incredibly helpful when COVID happened. We had all but one company stick with us and actually expand their digital marketing because we had such clear levers on what revenue we were driving, not just this theoretical approach, but hey, your visibility is driving X amount of visits to X amount of leads that you can then convert to help sustain or grow your business.
So something you said just keeps resonating in my head. If the economy goes down, we could cold call our way to success. And I love that. And what I love about it is, the value driver, the metric and the actions that need to be taken to kind of ramp things up. And there's a lot of businesses that are not familiar with what buttons to push and how. I mean, they're either pushing too many buttons or they're pushing the wrong buttons. And
No, it's
I think
important.
that's
We know that our website gets a certain amount of leads every month that we need to convert. That's the easiest place to start because people need what we offer.
Yeah.
The next part is we're a large part of our community. I love Schaumburg. We've been a part of the SBA since 2000. I think we were part of the SBA before we got our business license. So in 2007, we joined before we even got our actual
Did you
license.
grow up in Schaumburg?
Grew up in Elk Grove, but the Schaumburg part of Elk Grove. So
So what high school did you go to?
Conan High School.
I went to
Okay,
Conan
so
too.
yeah,
So
no
You guys
way.
are Conan
Okay.
grads, really?
Yeah.
Very
Right,
cool.
Conan,
Yeah. Oh man.
Was John Shoro a gym teacher when you were there?
Yes.
I went to school with John. Great dude. Oh, shout out to John. You're the best, John. We miss you. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Conan's awesome.
So we understand the buckets that bring in a consistent amount of business, but I've always thought if anything happens, any leader can go out there and not sit on their, I don't know if you're allowed to swear, ass, but wait for business.
Whoa, what the hell?
But actually
Patrick.
going out there and generating new business is the main part of leading a company. And it's a lot of pressure. I mean, if you're looking at the numbers and the numbers don't agree with your vision of how the year has to go, it's that sometimes immutable pressure you go home with every night of like, how are we going to figure this out? How are you going to, and the wheels just keep turning until, I mean, so far we figured it all out. And
So that's the thing about. No,
Mark?
no, go ahead.
Don't
No,
ever
let me
shush
go. I wanna go.
Don't ever shush me. How would you, for our audience, how would you describe your business and what you offer to the industry? And I mean, how would you describe to our audience what is it that you actually do? I know digital marketing, but there's a lot involved in that.
our core focus for the company is generate new business opportunities for our clients. That's it.
And
So
how,
generate new opportunities for our
Okay.
clients. So far, digital marketing, when we started the business up until now, Google and digital marketing has been an incredibly effective revenue generating source for businesses. Google is the biggest marketplace for service-based businesses. Now you have Amazon for direct to consumer, but Google, again, if you need home care, if your basement floods, if you need new bar swivels, new bar stools, you're opening up a new franchise location. People primarily jump to Google as that revenue, as that place of saying, I need something. And then generating and utilizing Google's resources to generate leads for our clients is our main focus.
Okay.
But the focus, again, is generate new business opportunities for clients. Why that's important? AI is coming out, and we've already had clients start ranking well and generating leads from AI. And a lot of our focus is shifting on testing that out, because if tomorrow the market flips and Google's no longer that primary driver, or Google search as we know it is not that primary driver, we need to be ready. We can't say we do SEO. We can't say we do Google Ads. We generate leads for our clients, and some of the tools we use are SEO, Google Ads, good website management.
Are there any do you see any other avenues besides Google coming up? I mean,
ChatGPT right now is a strong competitor to what Google's doing. Google also has their own Gemini AI tool. My personal opinion is that in a few years, there's going to be a primary driver of new leads that are going to be AI agents. So everybody's going to have a personal assistant that's tailored to their needs, that's going to search on their behalf. And even now the market's talking about how do you optimize for those AI agents that are going to be searching versus a user? Because a human being searches with their eyes, with their physical keyboard, versus an AI agent might search in a completely different way. And preparing ourselves for that, because it could be a new
So we
source
got
of
chat.
revenue.
So you referenced chat. We
Yeah.
got Gemini, chat, Grok. Are there others that you're?
Perplexity.
Perplexity.
Perplexity's done a good job of, you can actually track rankings there. So they're pretty open about your visibility on it and the amount of data you're able to get from it. Claude is another one.
Yeah.
There's a couple of, again, there same thing with Google. There's Bing, there's Yahoo, there was Ask Jeeves. Our company has to be effective. And if Google's 90% of all search volume, we focus our energy there and not fight over the other 10%.
Right.
ChatGPT is 90% of the search volume, if not more. It's still incredibly strong, 85 now. But focus our energy there, because if we say, and we get this question from business owners sometimes, hey, what are my rankings on Yahoo? It's like, well, Yahoo's 2% of total search. So yes, we can improve and focus your rankings there, but if it gets you 5 new visitors, and for the same amount of time we focus our energy somewhere else and it gets you 50 or 100,
Yeah.
that's the difficult thing. And why people work with an agency is, if you try to do your own marketing, you might be successful, but you're going to spend a lot of time that's wasted. You're gonna do things that might not be effective. You can read every article. Google's pretty open about, hey, here's the 1,000 things you could do to rank well on our website. Now our team knows the 50 that actually have an impact and are going to get you to position 1, and the other 950 that are great, but if you're not ranking well, you can approach them. But if you're ranking well, you've done it. You've done the objective that you've set out to do.
Love it.
So Trendler has been, we signed off on a contract with Proceed Innovations back in, I think, like August of 2017. So it's been almost 8 years. And you
Has
were
it
strong.
been that long?
You were recommend.
Wow.
Yes. 18.
And I was like 2021.
Okay.
I think for about 4
You
years.
don't know.
Yeah.
So anyways,
But
we
it's been a
interviewed.
while. It's been a while.
We've interviewed close to 4 or 5 different folks
We've
for
accomplished so much in the 4 years.
Yeah.
It seems
Feels
way
like
longer.
So since did you just correct me in front of
I know.
Don't you ever correct me yet? No, just kidding. So 2021, it's been a while, okay? And in the last, let's say, 4 years, our SEO challenges and strategy that we developed together, we were getting approximately 700-800 visitors to our website every month. Okay. Fast forward to the present, we're at 2,500 a month.
Yeah.
And so from
So
year
wait,
to
we
year,
started at what? And
about 700.
Yeah.
And we grew 30-40%, another 30-40%.
Up to
In
2,500.
the last, as we accelerated and synchronized our thoughts and our strategy, it's accelerated. So from 23 to 24, it didn't quite double. From 24 now to 25, we're almost, so in 24 it was 1,200 a month. In 25, we're over 2,500. So we doubled, we're like doubling every 18 months, let's say, okay? And our conversion rates are up. Conversions are when people respond to, actually filling something out. 40% of those are some type of a replacement swivel, which we know is out there. And thanks to our efforts and focus, we were able to set up the replacement swivel part of the business with Amazon. And that was taking up, just tons of our time and energy and things. And we're getting more and more of the non-replacement swivel types of activities coming through from our efforts. Biggest challenge right now is how to convert those conversions and those leads to sales in a 12 or 18 month selling cycle.
Or sooner.
Well, yeah, we try to accelerate it.
So
sooner.
that's the secret sauce of something that we're focusing on, dealing with, trying to establish. One of the things that I want to address, not to kind of not go there, because it's we can talk. My thought is right now we're leveraging the Google search, which is the dominant source. What about other industry specific sources, whether it's publications, whether it's trade show sources, all these? How do we access the data from some of the more niche type accounts that we're pursuing that aren't so prevalent on Google? They use Google, but do they use Google for looking for to furnish the next restaurant or the next university?
The target audience, if you will.
Right. So what is your thought on
we always bucket. I love keeping it simple in digital marketing. If you talk to somebody in the field, it can get very complicated very quickly. Any marketing. we always keep it simple. 3 distinct categories we look at for any marketing effort. What's the visibility? So you go to a trade show, okay, how many people did we meet? How many visitors? So out of those people that saw us, how many did we actually set up an actual conversation with? Did we follow up with? And then conversions. Out of those people that we set up meetings with, that we met with, that we followed up with, what's the actual meat to the bones?
Yeah.
So those are the 3 buckets for anything we do. Marketing events, SBA events, in-person events, this podcast. Just how many people are seeing it? Out of those people that see it, how many are actually interacting with us? And out of those interactions, how many quality conversations do we get? So when we do Google, we look at keyword rankings for visibility, we look at organic traffic for traffic, and then conversions for conversions. Pretty simple. But with any marketing effort, trade show, publication, those are 3 questions I would always either ask or have data on monthly, at least monthly.
Yeah.
How many people saw it? Out of those people, how many people actually reached out? And out of the people that reached out, how many of them were quality? Did we actually get
Right.
a good
right.
conversation?
Is there a percentage of the ones that you look at to say, hey, this is a good conversion rate? Is there like a percentage that's like, wow, this is really good, or this really sucks?
It depends on the marketing and depends on the strategy. I usually look at it as just in a conservative view, tense. So if 1,000 people see us at a trade show, 100 people will hopefully stop by, and 10 of those conversations will be really quality conversations. At least there it gives us a good starting point. But online, it's different, right? Online, you have so many people searching and viewing and coming back, and you're in an industry, again, it's industry specific too. You're in an industry where when somebody works with you, it's sometimes a very large order where they need a vet and research and do this big analysis before they pull the trigger. So your buying cycle takes a little bit longer. So quick answer, it just depends on but I would always I've started doing this with our team too, just setting goals ahead of time. Hey, we're going to do this expo. How many people are we, just gut instincts? How many people are expecting to see? How many conversations? How many meetings? So then at least after we can go back and say, okay, we had a goal. How did we do versus that goal? Instead of like, we're just going to go and we're going to feel it out.
We've been doing that for years, having little competitions and,
because again, you guys are the owners. It's always, as an owner, it's always an MM. I heard this phrase recently, it's my money. And it's a lot more weight when it's
Marty's money. That's how it feels.
Last man standing, right?
It's mama's money.
It's mama's money.
Mama's money.
And she don't like it if you're spending her money.
No, it's
one of the things that you triggered in me was, we're attracting an audience. Our data is showing that we're getting close to 30 to 35% of our visitors to our website from our efforts internationally. 30-35%. Okay,
I was really surprised about that.
Turkey, and we're getting stuff from just all over.
China, started targeting
Russia,
Italy now, Canada.
Talk about how the digital marketing world is not, how it affects geographic areas, I guess.
Well, again, it comes down to Google is just the biggest, as of right now, the biggest marketplace nationwide. Now, Russia has their own, China has their own, but outside of that, most people, you go to Bulgaria, they're using Google. And if you have different countries that are using Google and you're already found on Google, and one of the biggest successes we had right off the bat was American-made bar swivels. That wasn't a keyword that you were ranking for, that we ranked right away. And it was perfect timing because it was in the midst of COVID and everybody had all their shipping delays. And there were people out there that were going, hey, I need somebody in my backyard that can ship it on a truck from here to Georgia and it's going to get to me. So it's nice to do it where if everybody's using Google and you show up there, then it doesn't, if you're showing up, if somebody in Italy or Canada or Turkey searches, you're already capturing that traffic. So it's interesting to see that dynamic play out.
So Google's kind of like, I'm dating myself, but like the modern day version of the Yellow Pages. I mean, I remember traveling internationally. I would get the phone book and just look at the categories and start calling
90s, right?
Yeah.
But if we're comparing it to the Yellow Pages, now we need to start thinking, okay, if it's the modern version, it's going to be the past version unless they're making changes, but it could quickly become, hey, remember when we used to manually Google things? Now you have a headphone and you can go, hey, find me 3 Barstool
Right.
manufacturers, reach out to them, give me price quotes,
Yep.
and then come back with me with the best possible option for this scenario. And now you're getting an email from an agent going, hey, I need X and Y. And then your agent goes, oh, I can provide that data for you.
So what's interesting is that what you're really
Martin, are you ready for that world?
you're really expanding my the paradigm of where we are. We just had a conversation about a recent trade show that we had. What's the name of the trade show in Chicago?
ASI? Oh,
No. The one
promotional products.
No.
Oh, the restaurant show. National Restaurant Association.
National Restaurant
Sorry,
Association show.
Yes, sorry.
This was one of the first times there that there's a huge market shift happening. There's like a lot of foreign companies partnering up with domestic companies with all the tariffs, there is a changing of the guard, some significant market shift specifically this year. So when we're seeing it, we're feeling it, we're like, what you said is helping me expand this paradigm and become more aware of, okay, it's Google now. What's the next one? To be thinking like that.
And you guys mentioned you went to a trade show and it was revolutionary. You guys hadn't done trade shows in X amount of years. You came back. That human aspect won't go away.
No,
there's a lot of things in business. Critical. On our end in digital marketing, we need to use AI tools to get more efficient. What's not going to go away is connecting the work we're doing to the real world results that businesses are seeing.
Right.
AI isn't going to have as good of an experience giving you a call or running a meeting, downloading my face and pretending to do a meeting with you versus me and you connecting and saying, hey, let's take this in some random directions.
Awesome. Yes. And it's getting to where, like with Google, the headset, give me the top Barstool manufacturer in Chicago for me to choose.
Well, that's easy. It goes right to Trendler.
It does. It does.
I know it does.
You don't even have to ask.
You don't have to ask. Silly question.
Come on.
That's a rhetorical question. Come on.
But that's where it's going. You're asking for specific things. You're not typing in Barstool, et cetera. It's like Yellow Pages typing stuff in.
Yeah.
You're now voice activating what you're looking for, a chair, a Barstool swivel, whatever specific swivel for specific use, and boom, it pops up.
But if that's the challenge that a lot of businesses face. A lot of that information is in their heads or in a physical material. It's not on the website. And if it's not on the website, it doesn't get found. And the nice thing is that no matter what you do, trade show, Facebook, LinkedIn, the nexus of every business is their website. They have full control of it. They can put whatever they want out there. And as of right now, everything leads back to their website. So you can put that information out there. Even if it's hidden, AI can scrape that and still answer with somebody because AI has to provide an answer. And if you're the only bar swivel manufacturer that produces this specific item and somebody needs it and nobody else has this out there, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
So the word of the day, Nexus.
Nexus. It's a great book. It's a great.
It's a book?
It's a book, yeah.
Okay.
Yuval Noah Harari. It's highly
Good stuff.
Yeah. Talks about how information travels and...
Love it. Nexus. That's a good word. So, any questions you have of us and any interest in seeing what it's like working in a family business when you got brothers or sisters?
One little brother, but he's not a part of the business yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So we have 4 brothers.
What's the age difference?
6.5 years.
Okay. So I'm 9 years older and 11 years older.
And Anton is
4.5 years older than me. So
yeah.
So I mean that gap you're looking at a similar gap.
Yeah.
So your brother would be how old now?
That's a great question. 25.
Oh, okay.
25.
Okay, so he's
what's your brother's name?
Alec.
Shout out to Alec. What's going on, Alec?
What up, Alec?
Big brother's just.
I'll send him this. He'll be a new subscriber.
Excellent.
In terms of your guys' dynamic, when you're Martin, this is a question for you. The challenge with being a business owner is a lot of the time you feel like you can do it best. At the same time, I know in a family dynamic, it's my mom and I proceed. I feel like we have great skills and I can delegate things to her, and I have that same level of trust in her as I do in myself. When you're leading Trendler, do you have specific projects where you know which brother can take it on?
Yeah,
or do you feel like it's still on your shoulders?
Yeah, so when we have specific projects that come up, not only do I look internally, but there's so many resources outside of these 4 walls, okay, where we might get a better return.
Yeah.
So, first I look internally, is there something that we can do? And the rest of the time, I'll look for professionals on the outside that's what they do. You know, kind of like you guys. Yeah, we could do our own marketing, but we're not. You know, I mean, it'd take all of our time. You know, it just. But reaching out to professionals like yourselves and others, yeah, you know, if we can do it internally, yes. But most of the time, we need to focus outside because we need to focus on what we're doing internally and where our core competencies are.
So in regard to his question of the brothers, do you have certain things that you go to specifically for them?
Yeah, you lunch. No.
That was good. Lunch.
No, obviously Steve, sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Andy is a new lead generation out in the market, collaborating our product with other products that we don't supply to get it out there into the market. Anton, corporate development, running, right now, he's getting a new building for us to lease.
Okay.
He's working out the contract. Not that we're adding space. We're
We've been
expanding.
growing, so we're
And he's handling all that, and he's
Local
great at
Chicago.
that.
Is this breaking news?
Yeah.
so actually,
Kind of.
yeah.
But we haven't signed it yet, so I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Premature
But, yeah,
signing,
so-
right? They haven't signed yet.
So that's exciting.
Shout out to
So-
Anton.
That's a big
Yeah.
initiative. That's
So
a
there are
massive-
areas
and it's
where
a lot
each
of
one
trust because
is-
you're like, hey, do the research,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Do it. I know it's
Yeah.
going to be done well, and I know the details. Steve, Andy, my brother Anton. Whenever I turn something over to him, I don't have to worry about it.
Very
So-
cool. And then one more. So strategic coach.
Yes.
Oh, I introduced you to strategic coach. You
Yep.
guys are now a massive part of it. What do you feel like it's brought to you? Shout out to strategic coach. by the
Yes.
way.
Shout out.
Yes.
Amen.
What do you feel like it's changed in the dynamics of the business?
Yeah. I'm finishing up. I'm in the third year of a 3-year program. I have one more workshop left
Mhm.
of the 3 years. And I would say the biggest takeaway for me is it has helped me to process my thinking, to focus on things. Everything starts with your thoughts.
Yeah.
And everything that we do, interacting with other humans, markets, different things, is how I use my thoughts. And that has been not just transformational, it's been transcendent.
Mhm.
I like that word.
Very
So
cool.
my 2 cents worth, I've been in President's Forum. I've been in 7 different leadership
okay.
forums. I've been in YPO, Young Presidents Organization. And I would say strategic coach is probably one of the best because it focuses just on the individual
Mhm.
acquiring all the skills. I mean, the element of finances in a lot of the others, like how's your business doing? Here's your financials, what you got to do.
Yeah.
As entrepreneurs, and we know what we got to do. They're giving tools to help us become better entrepreneurs and better leaders. So
Mhm.
that's my experience with them. It's been great. And I want to thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you immensely
Yeah, it's
for
been
the-
life
Well, thank
altering.
you to my mom joined strategic coach, and at that point I was still fresh in the business, so I didn't feel like it would be helpful for me. And in that year, her schedule and workload decreased probably 30%, and mine increased 30%. So that next year I'm like, I got to figure out what she's learning.
Yeah. Amen.
So
So with that, any closing comments? Well, how would you say we can wrap this up based on the flavor? I would
just-
say Nexus.
Nexus.
How would you describe Nexus as a concluding element to what we just went through?
The nexus of Trendler is all of the information flows through the 4 brothers, and it's finding and feeding you guys with the right information. And that's a big area that we're working on. Is there's so much information out there, but which of it is actually valuable that we can link to an end customer, an end conversion in terms of marketing. But it's a big challenge for business owners that they don't teach you in school, because in school they give you, here's the case study, and the case study has the best information. Versus when you're in the real world,
Yeah.
you have not only the best information, but you have like somebody says this and then this, but what about this tool? And
Contradicting
then
information.
yes, and you need to be able to clear it out and have the best information possible to make a decision. And that's something that's truly right now a lot of trial and error when you start out, but it could be, hopefully it could be taught.
Yeah.
But it's
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of really great stuff. We'd love to have you back again if interested,
Of
because we have
course.
so much content-rich things to discuss, and
Absolutely.
greatly appreciate you coming out
Yeah,
here. This
appreciate
has been
you
great.
coming
And
out.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
More importantly, we greatly appreciate the services that Proceed Innovative has provided us. It's really helped us in a lot of
Absolutely.
respects in our growth. So with that, that concludes another episode of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty, where family, business, and your future success converge. So please follow us on all the avenues that we're available, which is
LinkedIn,
Spotify,
Facebook, Instagram.
YouTube.
along with the multitude of all the others.
Yep.
With no further ado, thank you. Until next time.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.